There are prisons built to contain criminals, and then there are prisons built to survive them. This is one of the latter. The outer gates rise from the ground like a scar, towering concrete, rusted steel, decades of neglect bleeding down the walls. Surveillance towers stand empty. Cameras exist, but many no longer work. There's no slogan at the entrance, no reminder of justice, only a number and a code. Once that sound hits, one truth becomes clear: you're not in control here. The corridor beyond the gate is intentionally narrow. No room to run, no room to dodge. Lights flicker overhead, buzzing like dying insects. Paint peels from the walls, exposing layers from different decades, each one promising reform, each one failing. Cells line the hallway. Most of the doors are open. That's not a mistake. It's policy. A single guard walks this corridor at the start of each shift. Alone. No partner. No escort. The rules are simple. Don't make eye contact. Don't hesitate. And never stop walking. Because stopping is interpreted as weakness. And weakness spreads fast. This prison holds far more inmates than it was ever designed for. Bunks stack 3 high. Some men sleep on concrete floors, inches from broken toilets. But overcrowding isn't the real danger. Control is. Inside these walls, power doesn't come from sentence length or physical size. It comes from alliances, from favors, from debts that can't be repaid. Entire cell blocks are unofficially owned, not by the state, but by groups the guards pretend not to see. Food is distributed on paper. In reality, it's distributed through intimidation. If someone eats well, it means someone else didn't. The guards know this. They just don't intervene, because intervening often makes things worse. New guards learn quickly that authority here is fragile. Orders are given softly. Keys are never displayed. Discipline is selective. Punish the wrong inmate, and an entire wing destabilizes. This is why some rules are enforced and others quietly ignored. Contraband flows freely, not because guards smuggle it in, but because stopping it would require confrontations they can't win alone. In this prison, guards don't run shifts. They negotiate them. There are sections of the prison no one officially restricts, but everyone avoids. The air feels heavier there. Still, cells deeper inside house inmates who don't integrate. Not because they're weak, but because they're unpredictable. Men with nothing left to lose are the most dangerous currency in a place like this. Some of these areas haven't been searched in years, not due to lack of policy, but due to lack of volunteers. Over time, fear stops feeling sharp. It becomes background noise. Guards learn to read silence instead of sound, to sense tension before it erupts, to leave early when something feels wrong, without being able to explain why. There have been lockdowns lasting days, not because of riots, but because no one could agree on who was actually in charge. Reports are written carefully, language softened. Words like loss of control never make it onto paper, but everyone inside knows the truth. There was one night that changed everything. No alarms, no riots, no fires, just a section of the prison that went completely silent. By morning, patrol routes had changed. Certain doors were no longer opened at night, and one unspoken rule was added: never enter that wing alone, no matter who calls for help. Officially, nothing happened. Unofficially, every guard on that shift asked for a transfer. Some quit altogether. There was no takeover, no single moment. Control simply shifted. Doors stayed open longer. Groups moved where they weren't supposed to. Requests started sounding like expectations. Refusing those expectations carried consequences, not immediate ones. Equipment went missing. Keys were misplaced. Backup arrived late, if it arrived at all. The schedule still existed, but the rhythm was gone. Some guards tried to push back. They enforced every rule, logged everything, refused favors. Those guards didn't last, not because they were attacked, because they were isolated. Partners transferred. Radios crackled with silence. Calls for help took longer to answer. Eventually, most learned the truth. Safety here doesn't come from authority. It comes from balance. Push too hard, and everything breaks. From the outside, nothing looks unusual. The walls still stand. The gates still close. The counts still happen. But inside, the prison is no longer what it claims to be. It isn't a place of correction. It isn't a place of rehabilitation. It's a place of managed tension. A structure designed to prevent collapse, not restore order. The guards aren't afraid of the inmates as individuals. They're afraid of enforcing authority that no longer truly exists. Because when control becomes an illusion, enforcing it becomes dangerous. They re-afraid of what happens when the last boundary disappears, and they the ones standing in its place. This prison didn't fail overnight. It learned how to function without control, and that's what makes it dangerous, because it isn't unique. Across the world, prisons like this exist, quietly operating on compromise, silence, and unspoken agreements. The question isn't whether control can be lost. It's how many places are already living without it, and what happens when that balance finally breaks.